Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries for the final setup video of my planners for 2025. This video is a little bit different than my other setup videos, mainly because as I was setting this up, I was taking a lot longer and I wasn't really prepared to make like a 4-hour video about this. So this is going to be a already done setup. I did finish this book and how I want to use it, but I am going to do my best to go as slow and talk about my process a bit more, just because this is a bit more of like a hobby journal, if you will, because it's all about astrology for me. So I have two books here. First is the Take a Note A5. This is the English version. And then I have a book here that was recommended to me by some of you viewers, actually, and this is a Honeycomb book. So I'm going to talk about Honeycomb first, and then I'll get to the Take a Note. So reference timestamps in the description if you're interested in any single part of this video. Anyways, onto the Honeycomb. So a Honeycomb book, after you guys recommended this to me in the comments, I immediately went to their website and just kind of poked around and saw what was possible. It is essentially a planner or reference guide of your entire year, or however long you decide to set up the book for, and your astrology transits or astronomy transits with your personal transits as well. It is so incredibly interesting to me. So this book I did tab and I did do some highlights in here, but I just want to go through, I guess, some of the basics because it was new to me. And if there's anybody else out there who wants to try out a journal or a planner like this that is transitized, I don't know if that's a word. I definitely want to share that. So it gives you instructions in the front on how to read it and all of that kind of good stuff. I will definitely say this book is a bit more complex than previous astrological journals that I have tried. I have been a Magic of Eye user for several years now. Here's my little Magic of Eye here. And this also has the astrology transits and everything in it, but it doesn't have the personalized natal transits with it. So this one compares the current transits, like wherever you set your location as, with the natal transits of wherever you were born. And so you can see how like the current transits and your natal transits are working together. Very, very cool concept. It is a bit more advanced, I would say, if you're getting started with astrology. This is I would definitely say advanced. So it does print out your entire natal chart. It gives you a whole bunch of information about like solar returns, secondary progressions, a lot more complex stuff than I need to research a bit more about. But it also gives you information about like the different planetary movements when they go retrograde or forward, otherwise known as stations. And it also breaks it down in a really nice list like this. So it gives you like Mercury is all of this here, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Chiron, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and it does have a key for everything in the symbol category, which I think I already flipped through, but it also breaks down some of the more mundane aspects and natal aspects here that would affect you during that time too. Also really nice. Then it gives you all the planetary ingresses. This is basically showing you when each planet moves into each zodiac sign, well, like day of the year, if you will. And it does have the year on the side here of when that happens. And then it also has a snapshot of all the lunations, or when we go into our new moon and full moon situation. It even gives you eclipse information too, which has that kind of red color to make it stand out a bit more. Very nice. I'm so glad you guys kind of showed this to me. It does have a lot of information in it that I am not 100% sure what it is, so I don't want to speak on it yet, but it does have lots and lots of information, and this is going to be a nice kind of way for me to like delve further into this in 2025, and I'm really excited. Anyways, for the monthly section, you have a like monthly overview here with a wheel that shows you where the planets are and where they're moving and like what signs they're going to be staying in for that month. You have all of the mundane transits, which are basically like, I would say, stronger aspects that are usually a bit more influential. And then you have your ingresses here, which is again, you know, where your planets are moving to in terms of the zodiacs. And then you have outer natal transits, lunations, aspects related to that, and anything about retrogrades and stations there. And then the planners or books, I'm going to call it a book. The book comes with artwork as well, which you can choose. There was like 3 different options. I just went with the basic one, and I have to say, I kind of like the kind of, I don't know, cartoonish look of everything. This is the Capricorn symbol here, or a drawing about Capricorn, I guess. Then you go into a 2-page monthly spread. It is a Sunday start, which kind of annoys me a little bit because I'm a very Monday start type of person in the calendar, but there was no option to kind of change that, so I'm just going to live with it. I went ahead and went through all of the different aspects in here and used a highlighter and just highlighted the ones that I kind of want to pay attention to in terms of me personally. It has a lot of different things going on. If you wanted to track everything for every single day, I think that would be a full-time job. But it's really nice to see how much information they give you on 2 pages like this. And then to break it down even further, you go into your weeklies here. So you have a week on 1 page in a horizontal format, and you have those same aspects that were listed here on the monthly page, but they are broken down even further. So for like January 1st here, we have the moon going into Aquarius, but we also have moon in Aquarius sextiling the North Node in retrograde in Aries at the 46th degree. So you can go even further into this with this planner, which is so cool to me. Coming from something that was a lot more simplified into this, which is a lot more advanced, I would say. I'm really excited to kind of practice a bit more and see how much more in tune I can understand what's going on with the planets, at least. I don't know. I find it really cool. But that's basically the whole planner. It just goes like this for the rest of the year. You have the weeks, and then you have a notes page, and then you have the months, and then you have the weeks, and you have a notes page, and then you have the month. So it goes all the way like that through December. I just added some tabs here that I had left over, I think from a Sticky Club order, and I just tabbed each month so it would flip to the monthly page for my ease of use. You don't have to tab it. I like tabs, and this helps me a little bit, easier. Helps me use everything a little bit easier. Then at the back, after December, there is a section for more kind of Gantt chart looking things with natal transits for each month. I think this is really interesting. I don't really know how to use this yet, so I don't want to share too much because I don't want to do any misinformation. But I think it's really nice that it's put in here, and I definitely want to look and see what I can learn about it. And then after you go through all of the months here, let me get through December, you have an ephemeris. So the ephemeris is really nice too. I personally don't use these, but I think if you're very serious about this and you have something you're keeping track of, this is really cool. And it has it very easily laid out and easy to read. I like the text and the print on this. It's dark enough, but it's not in your face. Like it's still legible, but it's not just like crazy bold or something. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But you have the whole ephemeris for the whole year of 2025. I would assume if you ordered like a 6-month book, you would have just for the 6 months, but it's nice that since I ordered a full year book, I get the whole year of everything in here. And then you have the About Honeycomb page, and that is the end of the book. I think this is really cool as a reference book, almost like a year of transits of your life. I think it would be really fun to have like a whole shelf of these if you just keep ordering them and you have like all of the astrology for years of between you and like your personal astrology and like the world astrology of where you were living at that time. Really cool. It's also customizable. So on here on the front, you can see that I have my sun sign, my moon sign, and my ascending sign. So all of this is based on my birth chart information, and you can also put a name down here. And I just did dandelion because that's, one of my favorite things. So yeah, that is the Honeycomb book, but I'm using this in tandem, I guess, with the Take a Note. So for the Take a Note, this is actually what my main setup was. This is what I've used for 2024. This is my 2024 one right here. And I loved using this for the middle of the year to track all of my notes about the transits and everything. So I want to continue that into 2025. But I wasn't sure how I wanted to do the setup of this. I wanted to continue what I did in 2024 And I think I'm going to continue just because it was working really well for me. Anyways, let's talk a bit about the setup process of this, because this is a setup video, just kind of a review setup, if you will. So on the front cover here, I basically stuck down a bunch of stickers. These 3 stickers in the front here, these black and white, are from my shop. These are the zodiac wheels. And then I also have my wheel of the year, which has the Sabbats on it too. So all 3 of those are from my shop. In the background here, I have some kind of clear gold foiled, I don't know, green, black, florally stickers that I was gifted by Priscilla. So thank you, Priscilla. I definitely am enjoying these on this cover. And then I went ahead and continued on with my star theme and just put some more of those like really fun sparkly star stickers that are on all of my planners this year. So keeping up with that. I also took a marker. I think I did my Pentel signed brush pen, since the covers of the Take a Note are cardstock. And I wrote 2025 here and Astrology here on the bottom. And then I went ahead and took a gold paint pen. This is the Pen Touch, yeah, I think it's just Pen Touch Sakura Pen Touch in gold. It's like a 1.0 millimeter nib, and it's a paint pen. So it's really nice and fine, and it's really nice and shiny. And I went ahead and just outlined my 2025 and did some like dots throughout. Then on the inner cover, I went ahead and did, I don't know, I was really inspired by like the photo walls. I don't know if those are still a thing, but you have like a picture wall, like a wall in your house, and you just have photo frames of all your family or whatever in like a kind of collage, if you will. So nothing is touching in terms of like the photos, right? But I did add the stars and everything on top of it too. The stickers here, the more gold foiled washi ones, are from Amazon. I don't know if I could link them. I'll try to find them. And then these other stickers are a PT tape that actually I was gifted from Georgia in Australia. Thank you. This is perfect for my journal this year. And I had a lot of fun kind of like placing these out. Then I went ahead and glued the flyleaf page down to the cardstock because I'm not going to use it. And we have the year at a glance here. So for the year at a glance, I essentially did the exact same thing that I did in 2024 here. So I have the literal same tape, same markers, everything. The tape is from Notebook Therapy. The gold pen is a Uniball Signo. And then I used the Zig Dot markers that I think I did like tan and gray. I don't know. It's just so I can see quickly and for my reference, like when the new moon is, when the full moon is. I just literally take a glance and that's it. Literally a year at a glance. And then I added in a piece of my vellum from my shop. This is the Zodiac vellum. I just wanted to have like a nice break between these 2 pages because the information is a bit different. And I stuck this in using a Zodiac tape from the Planner Co. Then on the other side here, we have a Gantt chart. This is the horizontal Gantt chart. So I set this up as planetary stations, and I chose to do 3 planets. In 2024, I only did Mercury. So in 2025, I wanted to look at Mercury, Venus, and Mars, just because those are the planets that move the most, because they're closer to the sun. Anyways, yeah, so Mercury is on the bottom, is kind of like this more cool toned brown. Mars is on the top, is like a warm toned brown, and then Venus is gray in the center. And I drew an arrow going backwards if it's going retrograde, or forwards if it's going direct. And it's just a nice little, snapshot of all of the planets. Again, it's just a nice reference page for me. I'm not going to be adding any more to this through the year. Then we come to probably the most complicated part of my planner here, and this is my recording of all of the aspects that I want to keep track of for 2025. This is what was taking me the longest, and I felt like it was not going to be a fun time watching me write all of this down for like 4 hours, because this does take a long time, but once the setup of this is done, it's done. I don't have to go back and add anything to this. But essentially, I have copied the information from the monthly section of this, so like the highlighted aspects and everything, transferred it into the column here, so that way when I go into the notes pages of this book, I can quickly reference, okay, which transits am I keeping track of, and make notes about them. Okay, but yeah, I made a key here using some moon sticky notes from the Stationery Pal, and I used a mild liner marker for each planet from the sun through Pluto, and then I have a little key here as well that's showing retrograde to direct, and then I basically just highlighted across the different days, I guess, that those planets are doing something. So the kind of brownish color is Mercury, and that one's probably the one that's going to show up the most. So I will just highlight that day, and on the other side here on the right, I will write down Mercury goes into Taurus right there. Mercury goes into Pisces. Mercury retrograde into Aries. Like, it's just a nice quick snapshot of what I'm paying attention to. Other setups on this page, I used some Planner Monkey Co monthly stickers that I got as a freebie, and then I have my zodiac doodles up here at the top just to kind of show where the zodiacs are moving to, from Capricorn to Aquarius to Pisces to Aries to Taurus to Gemini to Cancer. And then I also used my button stickers in the top part here to write out the actual dates when the zodiac sign is happening. So for Capricorn, it starts on December 21st and goes through January 18th, and then so on and so forth through the rest of the signs. On the bottom here, I just used some zodiac tape that I had. I don't know where I got it from. Some gold star tape that I'm pretty sure I got from Jet Pens at some point, and then some other kind of gold sparkly tape that I have no idea where I got it from. And then these two big stickers here are moon stickers from the Sticky Club. For writing with all of this, I basically just used my 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗍 pen, which is the Uni Jetstream. This is a very great pen to write really, really tiny, and it is, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't smudge like on the toner of paper ever. Like, I feel like this pen does really well with this paper, and that's why 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗍 sells it with a toner of paper. But in the take a note, it does really good with this too. But I like how skinny it is because I need to write really tiny for this section. Then I basically continued it for the rest of the year. Again, this is the longest part of the setup for me, which is why I kind of decided to just do all this in a shorter video versus doing a like 4-hour video. But yeah, I continued with the moon stickers on the bottom here and the transits and keeping track of everything that I wanted to at the top. Then I went ahead and glued 2 more pages together. This is the beginning of the monthly section. So I glued the December monthly together because I'm not going to be using that. I'm just starting this in January. And for the monthlies, I'm basically doing something similar to what I did in 2024. I broke down the different sections of the monthly to be a bit more useful. So this had, like, most of this hasn't changed. So at the top, I have this month, which is basically where I'm going to write my intentions for the month in terms of astrology. And then in review at the end of the month, I will come back in and write a brief review of how that went. Did I meet those intentions? On the sidebar over here, I have the zodiac information, so which signs we are in for January. And then I went ahead and continued the notes of all of the ones. So from my 2024 book, I did this. I didn't start this until like May, I think, but I had all of the information for the 6s here. So like each month has the number, right? Like 1 through 12. So I'm doing all of the information about those things. So for all of the ones, it's Aries is the sign. It's the first sign. The first house is the first house. And then sun is what I consider to be the first planet, even though it's a star, I understand. But it's basically my information about the different energies, like the notes I've taken about those things for this section. So it's basically just like a little notes synopsis thing. Then for the actual monthly spread here, I am doing the moons. So this is where I'm tracking where the moon is turning into, which sign it's flowing into throughout the month. Previously, I was doing all of the aspects again here, and I think that was just way too much information. It was way too jumbled. So I'm going to keep it simple and just make this only moons and then leave the aspects and stuff to the yearly part. But I used my moon phase stickers here, my moon name stickers here, and then the washi tapes. The tealish one is from London Gifties, and then this one at the bottom here is from Notebook Therapy. And then I have my constellation sticker up here from my shop as well, and then the kind of shortened abbreviated sparkly month stickers from my shop as well. And then on the right hand side over here, I'm going to do what I did in 2024, and that is have a section for my tarot. This is just a nice way for me to kind of learn more about it. I pull 3 cards for the month essentially, and then I write down what card it was in my interpretation. I don't really see myself doing this as often as I would like. Originally I wanted to do like a daily tarot practice, but I really just didn't have the passion for it, I guess. I didn't want to make the time for it, I guess is the best way I could put it. So I'm going to continue with the monthly, and then hopefully, if all goes well, I will also continue it with the weekly, but we shall see as the year goes on. But I went ahead and set up every single month, again, using the same essential bones, you know, all the moon stuff here, same kind of tapes and stuff from London Gifties or Notebook Therapy, same stickers. And so every month looks very similar. It's just a different color palette, which is how I like it. But yeah, I set up the entire year's worth of monthlies just because this planner does take a bit of time because it is more of like a research hobby kind of thing. It's basically like I'm schooling myself, I'm learning. So I like to have everything kind of ready to go. And that's one thing I did learn at the end of 2024 with my other Take a Note, is that having all of the information in there already was really helpful. Quick change of tapes here. I ran out of the, I guess this is the 𝗦𝘃𝗄𝗏 𝗦𝘂𝗏𝗏, and I changed it to this black tape, which is also from Notebook Therapy. I want to say they came in the same set, but it fit just fine, and I felt like it looked just as good. So I went ahead and just continued that for the rest of the year. Then I went ahead and grouped the final monthly pages here because, again, I'm not using them for 2025, and we moved straight into the weeklies. So another thing that I realized when I was doing my 2024 Take a Note astrology kind of practice journal is I needed to have all of the aspects already laid out for the month in advance. So that way it was easier for me to just go in and write my notes and kind of move on. Doing it all at once was taking a lot more time than I wanted. So I definitely think doing a month in advance or 2 months in advance when I have spare time to set it up is what I'm going to do. So for the weeklies here, I have the weekly over here, right? You have Monday through Saturday, or Monday through Sunday, geez. And I'm hoping to do a tarot here, so like 7 tarot cards for the week. If that doesn't work out, I am going to just do like a brief synopsis of my day and see how it correlates to the different astrology that was going on throughout the year, if that makes sense, which is what I did in 2024. So with my 2024 book here, we'll just go to this page. I have a brief synopsis of what I was doing here, and then I have all of my notes about the different aspects that were going throughout that week. And that way I can see, you know, how it was correlating to this. Maybe like because this was the new moon, I was feeling really like productive because it's new moon energy. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely want to continue that if I don't do the tarot practice. But since I'm doing like a synopsis a day in my other books, I feel like it's a lot of duplicate information, which is why I would prefer to do tarot here. But again, it's going to come down to time for me. But I went ahead and set up the whole month with all of the aspects and everything. So I just used my button stickers from my shop and the moon phases from my shop. And then the big clippings of the stickers here are PET tapes from Linden Gifties, as is that same washi tape. So I just used the same color throughout the whole month. I kind of like the uniformity of it. It just makes me a bit happy. I don't know. But I went ahead and just wrote out everything, and I tried to leave enough space under each aspect so I have enough space for notes. If it doesn't work out the way I've done it here, then I will continue to change that. I will make more room or find a way to add in strips of paper or something. But I went ahead and just did the whole month with those PET tape clippings, the different aspects with my stickers, and then also the washi tape from Linden Gifties. And then for things like the full moon and the new moon and like the major moon phases like first moon, first quarter moon, third quarter moon, I went ahead and did those in bold with my Pentel Sign brush pen, just so it's a bit more of eye-catching for me. Like I could see, boom, okay, the 13th was the full moon. Yeah, and then I also want to say I did February in here too. I had some time, so I just sat down and did as much as I could. Yeah, I think I did February. I started February. Okay, so this is the beginning of February, and I also wrote down a Sabbath here. February 2nd is when in bulk is, so I'll write down some notes about in bulk, or maybe what I do if I want to celebrate the Sabbath. So same kind of concept throughout the whole book is what I'm going to be doing with this. I'm going to have everything kind of laid out like this. I write my notes to show you an example. I mean, I did this all throughout 2024, and it worked really well for me, and having kind of a better understanding of like what's going on. I don't know. I liked it, and it was fun. It's kind of like a hobby project. But yeah, so that is it for essentially the weekly dailies. Then in the back here, there are notes pages for this book, and originally I wanted to do like monthly washi swatches or color swatches, but I think I'm just going to stop because I already set up the whole front and I don't need that anymore. And then I just have a pen test page. I don't really see myself using these notes pages for anything just because I have a perpetual notebook, which I think I showed this on the channel before. This is a 𝗦𝘃𝗍𝐴 A5 memo book, I think is what they're called. And I use this as a place to do perpetual pen tests, so I don't have to see, you know, does my marker work on these pages anymore. since the paper has changed, I'm hoping to get the newer paper memo books and redo this for that, but this has all of my old astrology notes in it too, like my astrology reference information. So I have all of the signs written out here with all of my notes about that, and then fatalities, elements, aspects, nodes, asteroids, and minor planets, all the regular planets. And then this is kind of like my interpretation of like what's going on. So like the planet is the what is going on, the sign is the how it's going on, and the house is the where. So if, you know, you have your Mars in the sign of Scorpio in house 10, like you can go based on those questions, like, and break it down a bit more. This is just all of my personal notes, I guess. And then I have all of the house information here, and then a moon wheel that's kind of a more breakdown of what each phase of the moon kind of means for me in terms of energies. And I do want to add to this. So once I get the memo books that have the new sans and paper that 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗍 uses, I will redo all of this into a new one. So that way I have, I guess, a better understanding of how my pens are going to work on the paper, and also have just another one of the reference books, I guess. But yeah, that's it for this little guy. And then for the back cover, I went ahead and just continued with the same kind of theme I did for the front here. So the same tapes and stickers. So the washi ones, again, are from the Amazon shop, Amazon website, whatever. I will try to find them if I can. And then these PET tapes are from, again, Georgia from Australia, which I really like this tape a lot. And then this is the 10-year anniversary card that came with my Take a Note, and I thought it was really sweet, so I just wanted to save it, and I just stuck it in the back pocket of the clear cover, which is also from Take a Note. And then on the very back cover here, I just have the card that came with my Magic of Eye planner, which has all of the moons on it for 2025, and then my Lotus Eye craft sticker up here at the top as well. And then lastly, for tabs, I went ahead and tabbed this using my moon phase tabs from my shop. I really like the way this looks with kind of like a black, white, and green. I don't know, black, white, green, gold. I'm a fan of this color scheme right now. Yeah, there's just something about it. But that is it for my astrology planner going into 2025. I'm really excited to kind of play around, especially with the new Honeycomb book, and get to see a lot more in depth about like what's going on with me personally, not just like what's going on in the world. I don't know. I'm excited. I do think this is going to be a journal that may take the back seat at some point if I get to a point where I can't keep up with it, just because this is more of a hobby for me. But the beauty about astrology is that information is permanent. Like, it doesn't ever go away, and it doesn't really change. So I can always go back and fill this in if I have time, if I miss some time or something like that. It's not like it's going to be, like, it's not like the information's going to disappear, which I do appreciate. Anyways, that is pretty much the recap of my 2025 Take a Note setup for my astrology practice. I do apologize that this wasn't a full setup of, like, you know, me sticking everything down and figuring it out, but I really just wanted to kind of save myself some time, and also maybe you guys some time, because I think 4 hours for a planner setup video is a bit much. I think I can cap out at 2 hours. But yeah, this was really fun to set up. I'm excited to use it for 2025, and I'm really grateful to everybody who commented about the Honeycomb planner, because this is going to be, I think, a game changer for next year for me. Anyways, if you have any questions about this book, any questions about my setup that I wasn't really able to chat about while kind of flipping through it, please let me know down in the comments. Or if you have any questions about astrology or whatever, I think it's really fun. I know it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's something that I really enjoy. So if you want to chat about it, let's chat about it down in the comments. But I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're enjoying the final days of 2024, and stay tuned for some other fun videos coming soon. Anyways, have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one.